Hey everyone, welcome back to Tech on the Mind, where we explore the craziest stories at the crossroads of tech, crime, and culture. Today's episode, a man in Greece just got sentenced to prison for running a private torrent site that shut down 10 years ago. Yeah, you heard that right. So, what happened? Why did it take a decade to bring him to justice? And what does it mean for online privacy and file sharing in 2025? Let's get into it. First, some background. The site in question was called p2planet.net. It was a private torrent tracker. Not like the Pirate Bay or LimeWire from back in the day. This one was invite only. That means you needed a referral to join, and you had to maintain a strict upload-download ratio to stay in. People used it to share all kinds of copyrighted stuff. Movies, music, TV shows, you name it. Now, was it commercial? Not really. It was more of a tight-knit file-sharing community. No ads, no premium memberships, just pure digital piracy. But even if you're not making money off it, hosting and facilitating copyright infringement is illegal. Especially in Europe, where enforcement has been ramping up in recent years. Now here's where things get really strange. p2planet.net shut down all the way back in 2014. No public warnings, no legal threats. It just disappeared. At the time, many assumed the case was either dropped or simply forgotten in the digital dust. But then, boom, 2025 hits. And suddenly, this decade-old ghost of a website is front-page tech news. The site's former administrator, a man from Greece, has just been slapped with 5 years in prison, a 10,000 euro fine, and nearly 2,000 euros in court costs. It sounds like something out of a tech thriller, but it's real. So what caused this 10-year delay? Some legal analysts point to bureaucratic backlog. Greece's court system is no stranger to delays, especially when it comes to tech-related cases that lack immediate urgency. But there's another theory. Some believe that anti-piracy organizations, especially international ones, never let the case go. They may have quietly pushed the case back into the spotlight, waiting for just the right moment, or for the legal environment to shift in their favor. Still, prosecuting someone for a site that's been offline for a decade? That raises some serious questions about proportionality, digital statute of limitations, and whether this is justice served or simply symbolic punishment. Let's take a closer look at the sentence itself. Because honestly, the Greek court did not hold back. This wasn't one of those situations where the judge says, here's a warning, don't do it again, or offers a suspended sentence so the person can walk free. Nope. This was 5 years of actual prison time. Not suspended, not on probation, not community service. Actual incarceration in 2025 for something that ended in 2014. And it doesn't stop there. The court also imposed a 10,000 euro fine, plus 1,800 euros to cover legal expenses. For one man, likely no longer in the tech space, probably trying to move on with his life. That's a devastating financial blow, especially considering there's no evidence he made much, if any, money from the site. And here's the thing. P2Planet was not some massive piracy empire. There were no corporate sponsors, no armies of users pumping cash into a subscription model, no secret servers in a data bunker. This was a small, private tracker. The kind of thing that usually flies under the radar. Think of it more like a secret club for digital collectors, rather than a piracy megastore. But when it comes to copyright law, none of that matters. It's not about how big you are. It's about whether you enabled access to copyrighted content. And enabling it, whether it's for 1,000 users or just 50, can put you on the hook legally. The law sees it in black and white. If you're helping people get pirated content, you're violating copyright. Period. And in this case, it's clear the court wanted to send a loud, unmistakable message. This wasn't just about punishing one person. It was about setting an example for anyone else thinking about doing the same. Section 4. What this means today, 6:30 to 8:30. So why is this case striking such a nerve right now, in 2025? Because it feels like a shift, a signal that the rules of the internet are tightening, that no matter how far back your digital footprint goes, someone might still be watching. A decade ago, a case like this might have gone nowhere. It would have been seen as too small, too stale, or just not worth pursuing. Law enforcement didn't have the time, the tools, or the political pressure to chase these kinds of cases. But today, the tools are better, the policies are stricter, and the political climate around copyright protection is much more intense. Governments, backed by powerful content industries, from Hollywood to international record labels, are pushing for zero tolerance. That means cracking down on piracy, even years after the fact. Because digital evidence doesn't decay. Your old emails, IP logs, even snapshots of a defunct website can live on in legal databases or server archives. We're now living in what some call an era of long-tail enforcement. You might think the coast is clear, but the system is becoming more persistent and more precise at finding past violations and bringing them back into court. This isn't just a warning to site operators, it's also a wake-up call for users. Many people believe that joining a private, invite-only tracker is safer, less visible, less risky. But in reality, those closed communities often attract more scrutiny because they appear organized, coordinated, almost like underground syndicates. That appearance, even if the reality is just a bunch of hobbyists sharing files, can be enough to put a target on your back. So the big takeaway here, time doesn't erase digital crimes, and private doesn't mean invisible. So, what should we take from all this? First, and maybe most importantly, just because something feels underground or niche or forgotten doesn't mean it's safe. Second dash, our digital actions are never truly gone. Even years later, even after the site is down, the consequences can still catch up with you. Whether you were an admin, a mod, or just an active user. The line between then and now is getting blurry. And finally, this case forces us to ask a deeper question. What kind of internet do we actually want? Are we trying to fight for an open, accessible digital world? Or are we just looking for shortcuts to free content, hoping we won't get caught? There's a big difference between the two. And this story reminds us that while the internet feels vast and anonymous, the law is always catching up. Slowly, maybe, but relentlessly. So now we turn it over to you. Was this justice served, or is this overreach by the system? Let us know in the comments. We read everything. And of course, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a story. That'll put tech on the mind. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.